Since you've had a new coach, has it been easy for you to adjust to the new coach?
Oh yeah, of course. Every day we work hard in practice. I mean, all the sets we run, everything we do is good, and he's been really good for us.
This year, we had two games to start off the season. Health not through. How we do it.
We get on the court almost every day, almost every week, about three to 4 days a week. Put in work. We have very competitive practices, which I believe that we like, and which makes us better almost every day.
Coach, you mentioned you lost 4 starters from last season. How do you take last year's standard and keep it consistent?
Well, we did lose starters, but really I think we had 8 or 9 guys that were capable of starting. So, these guys know what I expect. I think like what Jalen said, our practices are very competitive. These guys get after one another and they like to work hard. They like to win. And we try to structure our practices to be competitive where there is a winner and a loser and a lot of drills. And they seem to enjoy that. It seems to make practice go a lot better. So I'm very excited. These guys are a year older, and I think we have a lot of talent. So I think this team the schedule is going to be tougher. We may not win as many games, but I think this team can be as successful and be possibly be a better team by the end of the year.
That's your question. How does your mindset change from last year to this year? And tactics has changed or maybe lower this year?
Well, like I said, we got a good bit smaller this year, so we're having to play more fast and play physical with what we've got. And for me personally, I've had to take on more of a leadership role this year, and I'm embracing it and just trying to push the guys to get better every day.
So what was something unique about last year's team that you can take this year?
I think last year's team was they were very close. They're close, and this team as well. They're close on the court. They're close off the court. We got a ping pong table in the locker room now. They stand there and play ping pong together. They go to eat dinner together. They spend a lot of time with one another. They seem to really enjoy each other. And when you're during a basketball season, I think it's important that you get along with your teammates. I think these guys do. I think they pull for one another, and that helps you be successful.
I wanted to follow up on your leadership question. You said that you would have to take a more of a leadership role. How do you, pump up your team when it comes to games?
I mean,
Motivate.
well, this team, we get motivation just from love for each other. We all want to play for each other, and we've all got a goal together to win a state championship. So there's no real motivating I have to do. We all are motivated enough by a desire to be great.
Ryan, he comes ready every day, and he's kind of energized, and he knows the things that I like. And so I'm not saying he's a brown noser, but he knows I like for guys. So and there's nothing wrong with that. Like if, players, if you know something that the coach likes, do it because it ends up making the coach happy there. So he's pretty smart about that. And then, he gets on the other guys. And so when you have a guy like that who's a senior who leads you, then it really helps.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this. So being a this year, what are some of your personal goals that you have and what's
My senior year, I want to have more of an impact on the games, of course. I want at least 6 or 7 rebounds, probably 8 or 9 points, simple stuff like that. But really, I just want us to win games. I want that more than anything.
Coach, you've been playing teams from outside the state. How do those external challenges help the team grow?
Well, I think, you're playing, we're playing Meridian, Mississippi, over in Caledonia. We're playing New Hope, who's very good here. We're playing a team from Tennessee. Maybe the good thing is we're just not as familiar with them. Maybe they're not as familiar with us. So maybe you can, some of the stuff that you run maybe will work because, teams takes a little bit. Sometimes you play a team a lot, or you see a team a lot, you kind of know their style. So, we're looking forward to playing different styles, teams from different parts of the state, the different states. We'll be in Tennessee. We actually play in Jonesboro from Georgia. We'll play them in Jasper. So it just gives our guys a chance to get exposure, playing other teams. And we tried to play teams, quite honestly, that have a lot of college prospects on. I think I have some guys that deserve to be recruited, and they come where the prospects are. So it was very important to me to find teams that had teams that had kids being recruited.
You prepare to be in the right mindset before you go through the same routine.
Yeah, I mean, I go through the same routine usually for a game. Obviously, stretch before the game, and also have like a little Bible study and pray, and just kind of like keep to myself, but also make sure my teammates are locked in and get ready to go. So.
We'll take one more for the coaches and players. Coach, again, this is your second year. What did you learn as a coach from your player and your team?
I just, I've learned their strengths and weaknesses. I think some people say, well, you have to treat everybody the same. I don't agree with that. You have to treat everybody fair. But what makes one guy tick may not make the other guy, So you have to find out what button to push with each individual player. They're all different. And so I would probably say I know these guys a lot better just from being with them for a year, and hopefully I can coach them better.
Do you think that you got better as a coach compared to?
Only time will tell with that. I have a belief in what we do. I want guys to play the right way, but every team's different. And as we go through the season, what I think might work at the beginning, we may have to change as we start going. So it's all trial and error. But I do know this, that we have great kids that want to win. They want to be coached. They do a good job in the classroom. Every one of these guys on our team, there's not one guy. I have an 8-year-old son. I know I look old, but I do have an animal. I have an 8-year-old son. There's not one guy on our team that I would not let babysit my child. And so those are the type of people you want to be around every day.
When you play sports, you're very competitive, you have a passion for sports. So you see your teammates when they kind of struggle or they get a little upset because they're not playing with it. How do you feel about your teammates?
Oh yeah, just pick them up when they're down. Make sure they have confidence at all times because that's when we're at our best. So whenever you see them down, you got to make sure you pick them up.
Can we ask Jayla one more question, maybe?
So I'm usually a person to smile a lot, so I just lift people up by the way my emotions on my face. So it's not really that hard. They will usually help me. I just gotta keep confidence in myself. So
He does. He's always smiling. If you congratulate him, he's smiling. You jump on him, he's smiling. So that's a good trait. These three guys, I have 6 seniors. I could have brought all 6 of them, but these guys will lead our team, and I will put a lot of stock in them and asking them what we need to do throughout the year because it's their last chance to have a chance to win a championship, and we want to do that.
Thank you, guys. We'll have to bring over basketball. Good job.
the center.
Okay, Coach, we'll start with you. What would you say again? Names first.
My name's Ryan Watson.
Jake Conley.
Ryan Bardenworker.
Good morning, everybody. First off, I want to thank Tuscaloosa City Schools for hosting us this morning, doing these media days for the student athletes. I think it's great. I do think it's very important. Our student athletes, they sacrifice a lot. These days, it's not easy being a student athlete. A lot comes with it, a lot of preparation, a lot of sacrificing, a lot of late nights, early mornings. So I think, it's easy to focus on the negatives at times, and it's a little bit harder to focus on that end goal that you set. But days like today, I think, makes it easier for our athletes to show up here and see the people in the room that are supporting them, that are behind them, to give them a little bit extra motivation, a little bit extra push. So thank you all for hosting us here today. This year we're really excited. Of course, I'm gonna get up here and say that every year. I love my job. I love the kids that I work with. Forever grateful for the position that I have at Northridge High School. And I think this year, we're bringing back a lot of our productivity from last year. We didn't have a single senior in the program last year. We only have one senior this year, Tremaya. So while we're still young, I'm hoping that the mindset of our team is not young. I hope people can see that growth. I think our kids have been working really, really hard. I think we've had one of the better off seasons, better summers that we've had since I've been here. And we're really just excited to get to that next step, what that may look like. I think we've had good intentions. I think we've had clear goals. And I think we've had steady habits to reach those goals. So like I said, we're just excited, and obviously we get to officially go at it today.
Okay. The team did win. But suffered a little bit on the road, 3-8. So what are you doing this season that you think will help players when they are not at home?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first off, each year is different. The success that last year's team had is not going to be the successes that this year's squad has. And same with the failures. The failures from last year aren't going to be the same type of failures that this year's squad has. But I think what will remain the same, what is steady, are the lessons learned. And I think last year, we were really young, not making excuses. That's just the reality of it. We were really young, didn't have a single senior. Only had, one or two juniors. We ran out a lot of 9th and 10th graders. So a couple of kids got thrown into the fire early, kind of really didn't have a choice. But I think those lessons learned from last year, that experience that our entire program, coaching staff included, that we were able to gain, I really think is going to be beneficial for us going forward. Like this year, schedule's still tough. We got some difficult road tests. I think, the tournaments that we're in this year, we got a lot of tournament style games. I don't think any of those are going to be easy. They're going to be tough environments. So I think the lessons that we learned last year will weigh very heavy for our players as they go into, navigating this season.
Your coach mentioned that you are the only senior on your team. What kind of footprint do you want to leave for the players that are currently on the team or the footprint of school?
I want to lead. I want to be an area championship, and I want to be a leader on the team that the younger people look up to.
So what are some strengths that your team really have that keeps your team together and make it easier to just keep up with you?
I think this year's squad is connected. I do think based off what we've seen this summer and what I've seen so far this preseason, I think we're invested. Investments are a big key. Got to have everybody focusing on the same goal. I do think we have that in mind right now. And, Tremaya said it. I'm so glad she said it out loud. Look, we're in a tough area, regardless of who's in the area, who comes and goes. We have a tough area. And our goal, our mindset is we're locked in right now. We're trying to do everything we can to be area champions. That is something that we're not trying to take for granted. That's a big goal in our program this year. So I think one thing that I really like about this year's squad is the way that they're invested and the habits that they have in place to go after that type of goal. Because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. It's a really tough area that we play in. But I just like the approach that we've taken so far, and I'm really, really pleased by our investment.
For both players, outside of team goals, what are your personal goals going into this season?
My personal goals are to be consistent and just be a leader on the team.
My goals would be just to showcase the hard work we put off of and during preseason and just to win area and then see how far that takes us.
So, Coach, you talked about how being in this area is very tough, no matter who's choosing to. And when you get to a game that you know most likely to be a struggle for your girls or like a rival school, how do you prepare your girls?
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to the things we're doing right now, our daily habits. I think that's big. They can tell you, I talk about it every day. You know, the little bitty things are the most important in a program. Doing things the right way. That's regardless of what people think about the program, the girls basketball program at Northridge High School. We pride ourselves on doing things the right way. By no means are we perfect, okay? But we really pride ourselves on doing it the right way. And, you know, if we get to whatever that goal is down the road, it's going to be because we've earned it. So as we approach those big games, as we approach adverse situations, you know, as we talk about character, sportsmanship, it all goes back to our training. It all goes back to the habits. What type of intentions do we have in our program? And I do think right now we have very good intentions in our program. I think our kids are showcasing that every day. And that makes that big practice the day before a rivalry game a lot easier. You know, we don't have to worry about where our kids' mindset is. That's been established a long time ago. So we can just focus on the basics. And, you know, these kids, they get fired up about the rivalry games. You know, I think Coach Sanderson was talking about it. It's very important, you know, playing these schools here in Tuscaloosa. There's not much that I should have to say in those type of practices. Our kids know it means something to them and they love to compete.
I had to set a change in practice.
Can you say that again?
I had to set a change in practice with the season.
Practice, I just want to like take every rep like it's a game situation and not shy away from competition.
Based on your last question, you seem to have a really good mindset as a coach. And that's something really good. How do you view a loss compared to how you view it for your players and as a coach?
Well, I mean, I hate losing. I think everybody would say that. But, you know, I'm still really young. I'm learning new things every day. And I'm not going to lie to you. I've always come in here with so much passion, so much fire, and just wanting to win in every little thing, you know, that we do, whether it be creating the practice plan, whether it be, you know, getting on a bus, getting somewhere. I just want to do all those things the right way. I want to win in everything that I do. These girls can tell you I've tried to let that kind of overflow into our program. But I have learned over the years, you know, some of those trials, some of those lessons you just have to learn, and learning them the hard way at times, you know, really speaks for itself. It's so loud for even the people in the back to hear. So, and I've struggled with that, you know, because I want to win. I want to win for my kids. We have such good kids here. Kids that do everything I ask them to do. They try to do it to the best of their ability, 100%. So, you know, like you hear college coaches say it all the time. Our kids, even at this level, they hurt in the locker room after losses, and that just weighs on me. So I try to tell them all the time, especially like going through our conditioning program that just ended. You know, we remember those tough losses from last year. We remember in the last couple of years, these girls have been a part of some tough area championship losses, close games. We remember those things. We're not going to turn our head from that fact. We're going to own that. We understand that we came up short. What can we do differently? So in a way, those losses can be a blessing, but we just got to have the habits and intentions to turn those losses into blessings going forward.
We'll take a couple more.
For the players, how does your coach's passion help push up to keep going, keep winning, keep playing hard?
It pushes me because every day he wants the best of us and he wants us to be great and successful.
Yeah, the motivation is awesome. It just like pushes us to be better. And I think as like players, we push each other too. So.
As a student athlete, you constantly, as for athlete, as student athlete, how do you balance the student?
I just think, I mean, you get your work done and you just do what you have to do and, I mean, handle your stuff and just be where your feet are.
All right, thank you, Coach. You will go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then Coach will give us an introduction statement.
I'm Kate Underwood.
Dustin Cooper.
Houston Jones.
Okay, so brought these two guys with me. They're both seniors. Kate with our girls bowling and Houston with our boys bowling. This is our 9th year to have bowling teams at Northridge. We pretty much started the first year of the state had bowling, and every year it seems to get bigger and bigger. Our region at one time was 4 teams when we first started, and now we have 8, and that doesn't include everybody in Tuscaloosa. Our region is very competitive. We have defending girls state championship champions with ACA in our region, and then also we have other top performing schools. So every match is a challenge, but we also have gotten better ourselves. For the girls, they most of them put in volunteer work over the summer. They simply got a summer pass and went bowling twice a week. And first practice, it was very evident that they've been practicing all summer long. And our boys have gotten better this year as well. We've got some really good bowlers coming back. We've got a few new ones we're breaking in, and we look to have a great and exciting season. So,
Coach, mentioning on something that you talked about, you mentioned that at first when it started with like 4 area teams, and now they're about 8, which is making this a kind of local competitive sport. And what do you vision for Northridge bowling?
This season, I expect us to be super competitive on both the boys and girls side. It's going to be basically in bowling, we have 8 teams, and only the top 2 make it to the regional tournament. So it's probably one of the most exclusive playoff settings that you have. But we have I honestly believe we have a really good shot of being one of those top 2 teams on both sides. We have, again, our girls 1 through 5. Any given match, somebody can do really, really well, and just overall level, they've gotten really good. And I've got a couple of boys that can, on any given day, outbowl anybody in the region. It's just with bowling, it's all determined on conditions and playing conditions and what day it is. And, sometimes as they say, the pins fall and sometimes they don't. It just sort of depends on what those days are. And hopefully we can be in a good position to do well this season, but also shoot for that regional tournament. So.
how would you kind of change your style? Have you seen like any change, noticing the weaknesses and change the strengths, or maintaining the same attitude as compared to last season?
I know for us girls, a lot of us have been trying to change our style because some people will try and curve it, and that's usually a much better style of bowling, and we're trying to improve this year compared to last year because for most of us, last year was our first year. We were still learning, and this year we want to do a lot better.
When I started in 9th grade, I was straight bowling, and kind of sophomore year I was bowling straight too. But like with straight bowling, you can't really do it for long and like well for a while. So junior year, I kind of started curving it, and I'm slowly like getting a lot better. And this year will be a lot better.
So, Coach, what do you do to prepare your players, and which ways and what mindset would you like them to have?
Just to get prepared, right now we're like basically the month of October, we've been practicing twice a week, and basically like practices, I'm sort of touching up on their fundamentals and helping them like get their adjustments made before the season begins. And then as the season gets started, just like when you're in your match, just with every other sport, you can't. Bowling's one of those sports that's really easy to like dwell on what just happened, like if you miss a pin or something. But I'm constantly telling them like next 10, like just focus on the next frame. You can't do anything about what just happened. You got to sort of have a short memory, and that's even on a good thing. Like you may have hit a really tough shot, but if you get too excited on that last shot you just made, it may like overexcite you. The adrenaline gets going, and then you forget a little bit of your fundamentals, and the next ball is going to end up in the gutter. So you have to sort of have that even keel, and when you have that even keel and just that consistent approach, it tends to work out in the end. So.
How competitive does a match get, and then how do you maintain the same goal?
So the matches start with your starting 5 and they bowl a full game. And that's usually you kind of getting warmed up and you're feeling the game, and you should be doing good on that. And then it goes into Baker's matches, which is just one person bowl or one game of bowling, but 5 people bowl on that one game. And we do really good on Baker's because everybody kind of gets warmed up by that point, and you just got to stay focused during it and not really like get ahead of yourself and just focus on one bowl at a time.
Okay, and like to speak on the competitiveness, we've had numerous matches where like the game's decided on the last ball. And so the amount of like, you don't think of bowling as being a very like pressure-based sport, but like that puts a little bit of pressure on a player. So
How do you compare before?
I talk to my teammates. We all support each other a lot. It can get really distracting at bowling matches. They're really loud. The other team has these really loud cheers. It can be hard to focus, but as teammates, we all try and support each other, talk to each other through it, make sure we don't get too weighed down on mistakes, and then support each other when we do what we should do.
Coach, you mentioned you're going into your 9th season. What have you learned from the players over the years?
well, when we first started, like basically we were one of the top teams just because we were a lot more organized, just because being the first ones to be in it. But over the years, because other schools have like really gotten on board and gotten in there, just the players, I've just sort of reminded them that you can't just, at one time you could bowl like October through January and be okay, but now it's more of you got to work a little bit outside of the season. And everybody that's come back this year, I've known has been, in spare time, free time, bowling and just putting in some extra work and trying to get some extra reps in. And that's really helped our team. So I would say that would be the biggest change.
Okay, for both players, both teams, step into that role?
Well, for me, our whole girls team is seniors, so we're all trying to just enjoy this one last season together and hope that coach can find a good enough team for next year. But that's kind of it for me.
There's like 4 or 5 seniors on the team for boys, but only 2 are returning players, and so like the other 2 or 3 senior boys need to like get in the swing of things, and so do the other 2 like returning senior boys, and just stay focused and win.
We'll take a couple more.
So, Coach, you mentioned that all your girls team are seniors. How do you think how do you prepare for that first team?
So, funny story. So the year before last year, when we did like bowling signups and tryouts, I did have like a good like staggered group, and people got busy and hey, I don't want to. They got focused on other things, and there was about 8 girls that group of friends that all signed up and said, "Hey, coach, we'll be there for you. We'll do this," and they signed up and were committed last year, and most of them came back this year, and so we've got eight girls that are on our team, and again, they're all seniors, and I mean the plan is hopefully it's always worked out. Basically, they've got younger friends and they've got younger people they work with, and we'll probably have tryouts this next year around March or April in the springtime, and I can start recruiting girls that are interested. This year when we had signups, I had like other girls sign up like in some other grades. I was too busy doing this or too busy doing that, and maybe having it in the spring, they'll be a little bit more committed ahead of time. And but it's just one of those things that I'm not too concerned about it, and we'll get them there, and hopefully like having tryouts in March or April in the springtime is beneficial, because then they can get some work in over the summer before like the season starts and stuff. So.
Okay, thank you, Coach. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you, guys.
We can push it down the Jennings. It's the machine one. I don't need this.
We'll start with introductions, and then we'll have Coach in his introductory statement.
Kim Purnell. Sierra
Ladies.
Vaughn.
I'm William Numnum.
Jennings Hines.
Coach Jeff Sparks. I've been doing this for a minute. This is our 33rd season. So just when you get comfortable and you think that there's nothing new, it happens. It's really, really difficult sport for us, indoor sports. I say that with it's not like everyone in the state is running around with a place indoors to train. So it's in the bitter part of winter, and here we are. We're outside training during our season. We pretty much have gone year round for the last several years. These athletes that are up here are all podium athletes, either indoors or outdoors. Meaning that they have gotten up there on the podium, leaning forward, and someone placed top 3 medal over their head, laid it on their shoulders. So it's not like it's something new to them. So I'm in a different situation when you bring back experienced athletes. You don't really have to say a lot. That motivation for them comes from within them. Even though there are times when each one of them has a little self-doubt, I'm familiar with that myself. I think that's one of the things that I'm a little better at, and that's when I see that in them and trying to encourage them to basically believe that anything can happen. They could be the state champion in an event area. I know that seems like an outlandish thing, but all four individuals could be indoor state champions, and if not, they'll be outdoor state champions as individuals. On the guys' side, we are the returning state champions. I think we have 90% of the guys returning. We're looking to repeat as indoor state champions. On the girls' side, we were 8th indoors, but we were half a point out of second outdoors. We have about 85% of those girls returning as well. We have a lot of good athletes and not a lot of young athletes coming along the way as well. We're ready, poised. Sierra, our homecoming queen, has been doing flag football. The other 3 have been with me 5th period since day one, and everybody worked hard all summer long regardless. They're invested athletes. Most of our team is. They're not another sport. They're training. They're doing what they have to do in order to get the results that we're expecting for this indoor season.
First, I'd like to talk about congratulations on winning the TCS championship. And what do you think made it work for you guys to get this far?
A wish? No. We always talk about, we jokingly talk about speaking stuff into existence. And it is just like a little colloquial saying. It's not like you can speak something into existence. But at the same time, if you don't think that you can be a state champion, if you never put it out there, what it's a surprise, you're ranked number 1 or you have the best group of athletes, you're not supposed to win. That's kind of the scary thing is when you see something ahead of time. These athletes don't have anyone tackle them. Nobody found them. Well, for the most part, there's a couple races in there where they're not alone, where 400, 800, stuff like that, or some relay. But for the most part, they're on the runway by themselves. They're on the apron by themselves. They're in the circle by themselves, and it really comes with it from within them preparing for it. And so that's me trying to put them in a position to be successful, to get enough reps in, what have you. But a lot of it, is me trying to explain to them that this can happen. This will happen. Not being afraid to say that, because if I don't believe it, I don't know how they can believe it. But we saw that we had an opportunity in the guys last year. I kind of selfishly wished, I said, man, I'd like to just be able to know going into the season that we could win a state championship and then just easily do it. Well, we did win, but it wasn't easy. And we ran into a couple struggles along the way. And but all in all, we did win it. And we were very, very fortunate in that. And it set us up for a great outdoor season.
So what do you do before? Like, what basically helps you prepare?
Okay, so for me, I am always very, very quiet. I do not want to talk to anyone. On the bus, I always listen to worship music usually by Elevation Worship, things like Trust in God and More Than Able. I always pray and I repeat the verse in my head. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, because I really do get anxiety. So I try to just really trust in God so I don't psych myself out. And yeah.
Before meets, I eat. I try to stay locked in because I can get in my own way a lot of times. Yeah, that's about it. I just try to stay locked in, listen to music the whole time while I'm there.
If you find yourself struggling, how do you mentally overcome that? Where do you find your weaknesses? How do you fix them? Where do you find your strengths? How do you use them? Can you overcome your struggles?
So yeah, a main part in that is, trusting God and knowing that whatever happens, it's all part of His plan. But in track and field, it's a very independent sport. So you just got to trust yourself, trust God, and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I just like to look at how I've done in the past and be like, I can do this. I have done it. It's proven. So if I do bad, it's just a bump in the road and I can get over it.
How do you view yourself compared to then? Like, insanely overcome your skill level?
So yeah. So this is the first year that track's been the only sport that I play. So I played football. Right now, last year I'd be doing football, but this off season I've had the entire time to train and get better. So yeah, I definitely think I've gotten a lot better.
Me too. This year is the first year I've really been in the weight room and actually trained a lot. In the summer I worked really hard, so I feel like I've gotten a lot better. And I'm happy for the season.
So track is a very physical sport. So how do you help prepare your athletes?
Well, I told William a couple times this fall already that I was going to make him cry. He whined a couple of times. In about 20 minutes of an interval workout, it's very, very difficult. They're all willing to give their best. It's tough. It's hard. Erin does have some anxiety. And even though she is a very, very focused, talented athlete, she comes in ready to go and works hard all the time. I don't know where that anxiety comes from, but we work out. We get after it. They know it's coming. I write the workouts up. We have a grid that tells us for the whole thing, the workload for the whole entire indoor season or the whole entire off-season training. They know what's coming up. I don't put up what the interval workout is, but I leave them guessing for that. And we roll out there and there's the interval workout, and we're basically training our body to get in shape. And everything else up into that point is just a warm-up. And when we do event work, like I said, we work and break down the events to try and technically get better at the events. They work hard. I'm excited for them.
What things would another thing say junior should? What's that thought you got last year that say keep doing it?
Right now, Jennings Hines is the number one ranked high jumper returning. He's the second ranked long jumper returning. They don't even know he can triple jump. We had 3 senior triple jumpers last year, and Jennings just kind of played around with that event. And we've been, Coach David Herrod, our jumps coach, has been guiding him through the off season and this pre-indoor season. William has been state champion before in the pole vault indoors, outdoors. He was second last year indoors. He has committed himself to a great offseason, giving up football, trained to focus on track and field. He was last year's decathlon champion. That's 10 events over 2 days. Best all-around athlete. Not only was he just the Alabama's best, but he was the New Balance or Adidas national champion in the decathlon. We went to the year before. So he is poised and ready. He's the number 2 60 hurdler in 6A. He's working hard. We have Devin White, who's now playing football. He's the number 1 shot putter returning. We've had some fortunate to have some good seniors. We got some other athletes in there. One of the fastest kids, Justin Wilkins, is the fastest young kid ever to come out of the Tuscaloosa City schools, and he's back. So having the pieces, really makes it, it kind of puts it all there in front of you. Here it is. You have all the pieces, coaches. Find out how good you and the other coaches are. Can you motivate them? Can you put them in the right position? Basically, we joke and say, let's see how we can keep from getting them injured. But I'd just like to, last year, I guess really the only really downfall was indoors was our 4x2 ran really well, and we all celebrated. They got medals and gave them out, and then about 2 minutes later, they go, "Hey, coach, y'all got disqualified." I was like, "No." So had to go get those medals back and give them to somebody else. But just kind of having that experience and going through it, I think gives them a little more something to go
on. Okay, so I used to do basketball, and during our conditioning, we would run the mile, and I was in the front. And one of the girls from our team named Keisha Tinker, she convinced me to run track. And she was also saying that Harley from TA would be coming as well. And I just decided to try it out. I also used to play soccer as well, and I had to give up soccer for track. And I really just found everything that I truly enjoy doing. I've always loved working out. I've always loved running. I've always loved weightlifting. Weightlifting is really like my true passion, and that's something that we do a lot with track and field. And yeah, I really just feel like it plays on all my strengths because I really am like a very athletic person. And yes, so I really think that it just plays to all my strengths.
Coach, you mentioned that you had.
Sorry. I don't know. It was just I seen that track is like very competitive. One of my friends did track, and she introduced me to it. And once I started doing track and started doing high jump, I was just like, yeah, this is for me. So.
We'll take a couple more.
You said you have the vast majority of your girls returning. How does that continuity help you continue to find success?
Yeah, again, I think that when you know that you might have the pieces in there in your team to help you be competitive. I don't know if everyone understands what happens for our indoor season, but basically we're going to roll into the Crossplex in Birmingham, and every level of team will be there. Every level from Mississippi, from Tennessee, Georgia, they're all come in there. We're battling them all for the indoor season, but not just 6A teams. It's kind of hard to go in there and see that. We talk about just having 6A goggles on so that we can see just the people that we compete against. That's all we really need to worry about for later. But it's easy to say that, it's hard to do that. But when you have the other teammates there, kind of allows you to kind of try to go out there and go on the other side of it. Like I said earlier, was that to think that I could be one of the best person in this event. I could be the winner today. And that helps prepare you for what's coming up later with the state meet. So.
For your players, most of y'all have been introduced to another sport other than track or still play another sport other than track. So what about track should make you feel like you need to stay there and do better?
I would say, once again, I really just feel like it plays to my athletic strengths, especially with jumping. So my main event is triple jump. I've always had a talent to jump pretty high, jump pretty far. And yes, I just really enjoy every single part of it.
I love my other sports, but like track is like somewhere where I can clear my mind. Like I do high jump, so like when I get on the apron, it's just me until I have competitors with me. But yeah, it's just somewhere that I can clear my mind.
I thought that was just for the girl. Next question.
Basically, what'd you give up football for, man? Come on.
Track is like my favorite thing ever. Like that's what keeps me going. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning. That's like setting goals for yourself and doing the best that you possibly can is just one of my favorite things. So.
Yeah, I used to play basketball, and Coach Cooper up there was like, hey, you can jump high, you should join track. And so I did, and it's just really independent, and I like that about it. And it allows me to be really competitive with people by myself. So I enjoy that, and the weightlifting and everything. It's just like I get out what I put in, so it feels worth it.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
My name's Colleen Barkey.
Chris Cooper.
Donnie Burnett.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to thank Tuscaloosa City Schools for bringing us in here, giving us this opportunity to showcase our athletes and our sports within Northridge High School. Sports at Northridge High School is an extremely competitive thing. We take it extremely serious. The entire sports program, starting with our athletic director all the way down. We have very high expectations for everybody. This being my first year as the head wrestling coach here, I'm extremely excited for the opportunity to have a chance to, first of all, get to know all these kids, give them my expertise over several years of being able to do this, and also see how they take practices, how they take matches, how they take preparation, different things like that. It's going to be a growing experience for all of us, but we're very excited for it. The schedule that we've got put together this year is one that's extremely difficult. We will be traveling quite a bit. We will be wrestling quite a bit. I did know that we had quite a bit of inexperience. So being a wrestling coach in the past, one of the best ways of correcting inexperience is getting as much mat time as you possibly can. So hence the reason why the schedule is the way it is. But for our experienced kids, it's a very tough schedule to give them the chance to be seeded for sectional and state, facing some of the best competition from north to Birmingham all the way down into the Gulf Shores area throughout the season. So we try to see as many ranked wrestlers as possible throughout the year. So very, very excited for it. It's going to be new, getting to meet and see how everybody's going to work and compete. But I've got two seniors up here with me right now that we've been meeting and talking, and they're very, very excited to get going, which we start up next Monday. So we're looking forward to it.
You mentioned that this is your first year as the coaching Northridge. How are you preparing yourself to also be introduced?
The one good thing is I have several years experience as a wrestling coach. Now this will be my first year here at Northridge. I've trained several at many different levels in wrestling and different things like that. So I'll use my experience on that. But the one thing that I'm really looking forward to is getting to meet the kids that I've got within my program now. And when I say meet them, I've already met them, but I want to get to see them at a level with competition. How competitive are they? How hard are they going to be working? Things like that. I saw a little bit of that last year because I went to a couple of the wrestling matches for them just to be a supporter last year. And I saw that, but I wasn't in that. I wasn't in the wrestling room to see how hard they really wanted to be somebody special. I know for a fact right now, Donnie finished third in the state last year, and I know he wants to win a state championship this year, and that is our goal. Anything short of that is not going to be something that he's going to be happy with. Colleen doesn't have quite the experience, but she has everything it takes to get it done. She works her butt off in the weight room. Now we just got to freshen up her technique just a little bit to where it gets to where she can use it a little bit more. And that's basically my entire room. So really looking forward to get to know more and see where we can go with it.
For this upcoming season, I've been practicing lifting a lot. Strength is a big thing in wrestling. So I was preparing for a powerlifting meet for a while, and then I started conditioning. Mentally, you just have to think about how much you want it. Do you want it or not? That's the only thing that's going to get you there.
Cardio every morning, right before school. I wake up around 5-ish, 6 and 5-ish in the morning, run about a mile or two down my road, and then I get to school. You just gotta prepare. There's nothing else. Once you step on that mat, it's a different it's a different beast. You can't mentally prepare yourself. You can only mentally prepare yourself so far. It's different when you step on that mat.
How do you view yourself in shape when you actually step on? Your mentality completely reversed. How do you view it?
It's me against everyone. That's my mat. That's my win. That's my hand getting raised. I don't care about the other guy. It's me.
It's just trying to survive, trying not to get pinned, trying to move fast enough, and trying to remember what you learned in practice.
So, Coach, what is something that is unique about your students that you really don't see?
The one thing that I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to see is the preparation coming into the season. I got hired in the middle of July. We started working on some things and had a meeting in August. And I pretty much told them exactly what I needed them to do between now and then, which we're coming up within about a week to get to that point. And weightlifting, conditioning, cardio, taking care of your body, hydration, everything has been a big part of those 3 months. And I have been able to witness, 30 some odd young kids pay attention, do what needs to be done, prepare themselves. We just had our hydration test Saturday. We had to go to Thompson High School for that. We had everybody pass that, doing everything great the first time, which a lot of people struggled with that. So very, very pleased with them doing exactly what I asked them to do, which is just getting me even more excited. So when we get into that wrestling room and we're on that mat and we're preparing, if they're willing to do the outside stuff right now to make it where it needs to be, and they'll transition that into the into the mat room, it's going to be a very, very exciting year.
So for both players, are there any moves or skills that you really, really love with your struggling with? How you trying to work?
I need to expand my repertoire of skills. I only just joined wrestling last year, and the girls' team didn't practice as often as the boys last year. So I only got 2 hours a week to practice. So this year, I'm really working on getting those skills, getting that practice in, so I can succeed on the mat.
I've been wrestling my entire life, and you can always learn more. There's nothing that you can't practice more. You can always take another shot. You can always do another stand-up. You can always get better. There's no one that's perfect at wrestling.
Coach, you mentioned this is your first year with Northridge. What made this the right opportunity?
Honestly, I've been in Alabama for about 15 years, and I've trained a lot of adults and college kids and some other things. And Northridge has really been a good situation because the previous coach has done a great job. He went to another school, and when the opportunity came available, I was like, this is something I could get back into that I could thoroughly enjoy. And I knew they needed somebody because it's not the easiest thing to do to find a wrestling coach. There aren't very many people that have the experience to do what wrestling coaches can do, and actually at a decent level. Matter of fact, there's a lot of people at Northridge that didn't know I had the background within wrestling until they got to see that I actually did. So when the opportunity came, I spoke with Dr. Williams and told her, and she wasn't aware of my background either. And I sit here today because of that, and very excited, looking forward to what we can do.
Getting your hand raised, it is the best feeling you will ever feel. You can ask any wrestler, when you get your hand raised on that mat, it's like a relief, if that makes sense. Really, my main goal is to win state, but I want everyone below me to win state. I want all my younger kids to do great, to do their best.
So right now, I'm the only girl on the team that's been on this team. So I really want to just encourage everybody else on the team to keep going, to keep learning, and to continue wrestling next year.
When you lose a match, I think
Losing a match is just feedback. It's feedback that you need to work harder and prepare more, do more cardio, or learn that move better. It's just, yeah, you get disappointed, but it's an indicator that you can do better next time.
It hurts. You just gotta watch that match, see where you went wrong, see how you messed up, or how the other guy beat you. Nothing you can do about it, but besides move on.
You can have a lot of stuff now and so you're asking for your future. So how do you?
Well, I try to, first of all, in practice, instill as much confidence as possible. You've heard in here earlier today about competitive practices and different things like that. So my goal is to make sure that we have those competitive practices. So hopefully that will eliminate a lot of the self-doubt. Now, is that going to get rid of it? No. There's still going to be some there. And part of basically everybody's job is going to be, it's not just going to be mine. As Donnie stated earlier, everybody, he wants to win a state title, but he wants to also be a huge part in how other people do as well. So between myself, the assistant coaches, and everybody else within the team, if anybody starts feeling that, we just, we help them, motivate them, get them right, get their heads right, possibly get them on the mat, show them a few things, get them feeling a little bit better about certain takedowns. If they're struggling to get off the bottom, I'll send Donnie over somebody for 10 minutes and, work him, get certain things done. If there's one of the young ladies that's new and needs Colleen's wisdom, she had a rough time trying to get through certain things last year, but she's made it. And she's got that experience to help some of the other ones that might feel the same way. And also understanding that is a possibility. It's going to happen. It's not something that we're not prepared for. It's not something that it would be a shocker if we saw it. It's something that we know is something can happen, especially when you're dealing with individuals. Even though it's a team, it's still individuals, especially similar to track, bowling, certain things like that, where you're by yourself, all right, but you're still a team. So being out there taking care of yourself, but then also taking care of everybody behind you, that is what makes everything so special. And that's what hopefully is going to get us through an outstanding wrestling season this year.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Good job. Good job. Thank you, guys. Questions?
Well, thank you. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you, man.
You guys.
Appreciate it. The best thing about this is that from being in the crowd, my students, but it's a complete different crowd. From the coach view, no, she's heavy, but
Good morning, guys. Barry Curtis, the African President. Thank you guys for being part of Winter Sports Media today. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the schedule. We'll start with girls and boys basketball. Boys and girls basketball. We'll have boys basketball go ahead and take a seat here in the podium. Now, we'll start with introductions so that everybody will have an opportunity to introduce themselves. We'll do the coach over the stage, and we'll take questions from our student broadcast site here. Glad to have everybody here. Speak up, don't be nervous, speak up, make your points, we understand, do your best. Thank you, guys, for being part of it. Once you get lined up, we'll start with introduction, speak loud so that we can hear you, and then we'll take questions.
That good?
Introductions.
My name is Keegan Larkin. I play the 4 and the 5. I'm a senior at Paul W. Brown High School.
My name is Javion Williams. I'm a senior. I play golf for Paul W. Brown High School.
My name is Sean Pecklove, and I'm the head coach of Paul W. Brown High School. This year, we're looking forward to transition to a new phase of our program. We have several different kids that have transitioned into our program, and we're looking forward to that. But as a whole, we still have the same goal that we have every year, is to compete for a state championship. And I think these guys have put in the work since doing that. We've been working pretty much nonstop since June, taking a few days off here and there. But the commitment is there, and we're just looking forward to a great season.
Coach, it's no secret that Brian dropped to 9-16 overall last season, from 17-13 the year before. What exactly is your strategy as a coach to get your team back to that?
I didn't get the first part of that. Say that again.
That Brian dropped to 9-16 overall.
9-16?
Is that right?
No.
How wrong was that?
9-16?
Yeah.
I've been 9-16 since my second year.
What is your strategy to maintain your motivation as a coach to your players?
Well, it's just to get the most out of your players. Every year you come in and you have players with different attitudes and different mentalities. And as coaches, it's our job to kind of feel that out and to see what we can get out of them and just take it from there. Just kind of building that relationship with them where they know what you want, what you expect, and how to carry it over to their own teammates. Not just from me to them, but spreading it throughout the team, throughout the program.
Okay, for both players, how do you approach practice every day? And what mindset do you have going?
We'll approach practice every day. We're gonna work hard, practice hard, run hard, and yeah, that's it.
Same like what Jay said. Work hard every day. Come in, lock in, and don't play around.
Okay, Coach. It seems like when you team play out there, you do very well, but you kind of have a little struggle on the road. So what do you plan to take to change?
Well, you always want to play well at home. I think we've done pretty well over the last few years of winning our home games and stealing a few on the road as well. I think that's very important if you're intending on competing for the state championship, is win your games at home and steal a few on the road.
For both players, what is your mindset to compete at home in the state championship?
Don't play around. Take everything serious what coach say, and play 100% at the time.
Our mindset is listen to coach. We know he's gonna try to lead us doing the right thing. Just listen to him, stay focused, and work hard.
Coach, you've seen some success in the past. What is your plan to take the next step with this team this season?
Well, it's a cycle. You do the thing and you try to instill the same thing into their mind year after year. We're not here just to play basketball. We're here to compete at the highest level. With that being said, you get to that highest level, you afford your kids the opportunity to be seen and to go on and play at the next level. So that's our goal every year, is to play at the highest level. Some of the things I've said over the past few years, and I won't say that now, but our goal is always to be playing on the last day of the season, which means we will be competing for a state championship.
Okay, for your players, how do you prepare yourself for it?
Prepare. I like to listen to music, chill with my teammates, and get something to eat. That's it.
Same off of what Jay said.
Coach, can you talk about the strength that your team has this year? And like maybe some of the weaknesses, how you as a coach plan to help your team to overcome those weaknesses and use those strengths to have success?
I think the strength is definitely going to be our senior leadership. With that being said, another one of our strengths is going to be our guard play. We have extremely good guard play. We're going to be able to pressure the ball a little bit more, get up and down the floor a little bit more. They have a great job understanding of playing with each other. But some of our weaknesses will be we're gonna have a learning curve. We're playing 3 sophomores and 2 freshmen on varsity, so we're gonna have a learning curve. But we're gonna throw them into the fire, and my expectation of them is the same as the others. Come in, work hard, and compete.
We'll take a couple more from Coach.
For you guys to see, what do you want to leave off to the other players that junior and sophomore? What kind of footprint do you want to leave for those players?
Keep a good mindset to them, and always listen to coach. Don't play around, like I said earlier. Yeah, that's it.
I want to leave off being a leader. The next junior step up to the senior position, they'll be a lead, take the lead of the team.
And Coach, what do you want to leave off to these now? Go off. What?
just that basketball is a small part of their life. There's so many other things that they can do. But if you put in the work here, your time and everything will be rewarded. Basketball can open up different avenues for these kids, and I just want them to take advantage of it, to work hard and appreciate it.
Have you seen your skill set as a coach grow over this past few years with these, this new team that you had with the seniors?
Well, I think it's grown just over the last year. Bringing in 3 sophomores and 2 freshmen. It's more of a teaching process for those guys, and trying to get them caught up to the physicality of it, the speed of the game. So it's taught me to, over the last year, in dealing with such a young group, it's taught me to be more of a teacher, which I had gotten away from. So now I'm teaching them things that, they might not know at such an early age.
All right, good job. Thank you, I appreciate it. You're basketball.
I call y'all with like 20-3, really.
My name is Faith Bonner. I'm a junior and I'm point guard. My name is Ariel Phillips. I'm power forward and I'm a senior.
My name is Melanie Latham. I'm a senior and I'm a guard.
Eddie Jackson, head girls basketball coach at Paul Brown High School. This year, our goal is to be playing on the last day of the season. And then we should be working hard during the preseason, man, just trying to accomplish our goals.
Coach, can you talk about the strength and weaknesses of your team and how you can try to improve your team?
Our strength is I have a lot of girls that have been playing a long time. So our strength is our leadership, and our weakness, I really don't have a weakness for as a team, but our weakness is just trying to play together, learn each other and learn how to play together.
My mindset, I want to get to playing state. I've been playing since 7th grade varsity, so it's a journey. I want to go to state and just go out and dominate.
My mindset is to have a positive attitude the whole season and just make it past area.
Okay, for your players, you have your theater. What would
You can go first.
Footprint I want to leave behind is building up their confidence, because I'm leaving. When I leave, I want to make sure they have still their confidence and while playing throughout the game.
I want them to have a great work ethic and always work hard, never give up, and yeah.
So for the players, what are your personal goals for yourself?
My personal main goal is to hit 1,000 points this upcoming season.
My personal goal is to play better than last year.
My personal goal is to not get so down on myself and play my game.
And how do you view yourself? You view yourself differently as a student or work? How do you view yourself?
For everybody?
Yeah.
I view myself differently. Well, I say the same. I'm a talkative person. I lead, I don't let anyone get down on me.
I'm very different than in school than on the court. In like classrooms, I don't talk that much, but like when I'm with my team, like on the court, it's different than in the classroom.
I view myself the same. I just like to play and have fun.
We usually have a pre-game meal, then we have a little quiet time, get them time to themselves, get them time to fraternize with their teammates and whatnot, and then we just get ready for the game, get ready to play. I mean, and I stress them trying to be more focused, focusing on the game, focusing on their responsibilities and their duties they have to do during it for us to be successful.
Coach, you started the season off with a number of games on the road. How was that going to prepare you for the rest of the season?
I think early season test is getting us ready for area play. Our area is kind of tough, so we need those road games and play those hard road games to get us prepared for the area games and the area season on our road to the championship.
So when you see your other teammates stand out or think that they're not confident as they usually are, how do you feel?
I give them words of encouragement to boost their head back up.
I just tell them pick their head up and just try to go harder.
If they have any questions, I show them different ways to conquer their fears and just give them words of encouragement.
And Coach, what about you when you see your team and your players struggle? What do you help?
I try to lead by example. I try to do all my coaching in practice, but during the game I try to stay calm because my players are watching me. So if I have a frantic behavior, they're gonna play frantically. So I try to stay calm. Hey, look, it's all right. Play the next play. We move on. We gonna move on to the next play. That play don't happen. It's 32 minutes in the ball game, and we just trying to win the ball game.
Opponents. Watch film.
For the most part, well, I'll say area. I've played with them before, so I just remember how they play. Watch film. I see what's their weaknesses, what their strengths, what is their go-to moves. How can I stop their go-to moves, and what can I do to get past them when they're playing me on defense?
For all players, you very often into a competitive game or say a rival game. What do y'all honestly, or how do y'all focus on the court?
I don't look into the crowd. I just stay focused, warm up, and whatever they say, just show them what happens at the scoreboard.
Me, I just try to take it like it's like a normal game. It's just a normal game. And stay focused.
I just stay calm and play like it's a regular game. Like it's just a game.
A couple more. Coach, how do you view yourself? Is there like anything you live by to help your players have that success? You live by yourself success.
I view myself as a successful coach. I didn't really play basketball when I was young, and I don't really play pickup basketball. So I'm really am a student of the game, and I learn from them also. So I'm still learning the game of basketball. I've been coaching 20 years, so I'm still learning the game of basketball. So I can learn from them. I'm showing them I can learn from them, and they can learn from me. My old coach once told me, you need the old because they know the way, and the young because they strong. I know the way. They young, they strong. So that's all they got to do is follow me.
For both players, what took place last year y'all brought
Team chemistry.
Yeah, I probably say the same.
Yeah, just team chemistry. Thanks to Barmore.
All right, thank you, guys. Was your bowling?
Zay over here.
I guess you use this.
Yes. Set the. Yeah.
Got to balance it out.
Yeah, Kayla, you want to come over here? Pass this around.
No, you're gonna be married. You're gonna be married.
Is this what we pass around? Do we pass this around? Okay. Is it on?
Yes, sir.
Now, one of my hearing aids doesn't work. And the other one, my head's stopped up, so Alyssa may have to repeat, she may have to repeat the question for me. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna take introductions, and then Coach will give his introductory statement.
Just say your name. My name is Leah Ivy. My name is Zion Mitchell. I'm a junior.
I'm Alyssa Whitsett. I'm a senior.
My name is Cornelius Love. I'm a senior.
I'm Isaiah Martin. I'm a senior.
Katie Robinson.
It's on your shirt.
Just put it.
And y'all can move that down.
I'm Coach Skelton and coach the boys bowling and girls bowling team at Bryant. And we're looking forward to the 2024-2025 season. Just a little bit about our team. Our girls have qualified for the playoffs, the regionals, for 4 straight years now. In the last 2 years, they've only lost 4 regular season matches to the same team, ACA, who's went on to the state tournament. And so we're hoping we've gotten better every year. We want to be competitive with them again this year. As we finished runner-up the last 2 years. The year before that, these 3 girls were all part of a team when that we actually tied Northridge for the championship in our region and qualified for the playoffs. And the 4 girls here, Kaylee and Alyssa and Zion and Leah, have been together for the last 3 years. And while Zion has 1 more year, this is the last year together for the other 3. And so this is the year that their goal is to make it to state. It's our last chance to make it to state as a group together. And that's what we're pushing for. And we think the the change in the way that you qualify for state this year, where we're going to match play, full match play in traditional games instead of what's called the Baker games, is going to be to our advantage, because we particularly our girls are really much better, I think, at the traditional games, which is a traditional 10-pin game, as opposed to the Baker games, which are, basically everybody bowls 2 frames, and you do a 4 out of 7 thing. So I'm looking forward to our girls and their chances this year. We're just, we've got one new girl that's coming at the really at the end of the football season, the band season, to add to that. And we're still trying to recruit a couple more, because we've got to have at least 5. We like to have a couple of subs, so we're still trying to recruit a full team for our girls. And but we should have a full group, and we'll get started with match play on October 30th against Sipsey Valley. As for our boys, we have 3 returning players that are all seniors, CJ and Zay and LeVar Burrell. These 2 are 2 returning starters. We lost one of our returning starters who's at homeschool now, was a very good player, but I really am pleased with who we're adding. We're adding a junior by the name of Tavis Crummy, who I don't know where he's been. He's a very good league bowler, has a very high average, and a 7th grader named Caden Gibson, who is our secret weapon. And so we're looking forward to adding Caden. And then we have we have more boys out than we've had in a long time. And so several of them are really progressing very well. We've got great parental support. Leah's been with me since the 7th grade when her brother Jonathan was a senior. Her parents, Tristan and Tanya Simpson, they're a valuable asset to our program. And, Tristan's a 300 bowler. Tanya is an excellent bowler, and they've been our great support. Other parents have come in and are great support to us. And I look for our boys to be surprisingly competitive to the other teams this year. And I look for our girls to not just qualify for the regionals, but to qualify for the state this year.
Okay, so for the girls, how do y'all do it? What do y'all take from it, and then what do y'all do different?
Take that the girls are a very strong bowler, and seeing by their record, they improve each year. So I take that we become stronger each year.
Well, we beat them once before in the Baker game, so we know what we can do. We just have to do it.
For all the players, when it's your turn to get up there, what goes through your mind? Do you change your mental state? You start from the
I try to just stay in the same headspace, not think much about it. Also.
When it's my turn to bowl, I'm more focused than I am when I'm waiting for my turn.
When it's my turn to get up and bowl, I try to stay the same mindset as when in practice, because you usually do what you always do what you do at practice. It's just you have to be much more focused and attentive, because you never know if you might slip up or trip up or something else can happen. So just try to stay in the same lane as you are.
Sometimes I'm in the same mindset, but also I think like I'm battling my own team.
Depending on my day, I'll be like singing a song in my head when I get up there, then I just do my thing.
For me, I'm the ankle bowler. I'm on learning. So when I go up there, it's like everybody count on me, I'm pressure on me. So sometimes I get in my own head, like if I don't do this, they gonna look at me this way. But most of the time I get up there and bowl, it's like a calming mindset. It's like a safe space. So it's like really nothing to think about. You just go up there and do. You like don't think about it too hard.
Coach, how do you prepare your players mentally before
for the match?
I think basically the best way to prepare for a match is you just stay loose, be enthusiastic, and and not let outside factors get to you. Particularly like when you get, at a higher level, the other team's going to be cheering, and it's almost, one of the things I found, like when I got to bowling, is that some teams actually cheer because it cheer like softball cheers, and the only difference is instead of in the opposite dugout, they're right there in the lane next to you, and it can be easy to kind of take it personal, and even as a coach, I mean, if you're having a bad day and the other team's cheering next to you, it can kind of get under your skin just a little bit, and so you got to kind of tune out those other things, those outside factors, and focus on what you're doing, but keep your own enthusiasm and focus on what you've got to do. And I think ours are really good at that, at the warm-ups and staying focused. And we try to get there. We try to get to the lanes early. At least, matches have to start at 4, so we try to get to the lanes by at least 3:30. Relax, let the kids get something to drink. And then when it's warm-up time, everybody's got their shoes on, they get their balls set up, and they're focused, they're ready to go.
You find yourself struggling in the game before the game. How do you pick yourself back when you get in that mindset?
I'd say to just do your best that you can, because not every game is sometimes winnable, but as long as you do your best, that's the whole point. Just keep trying and trying, because you never know. Because let's say you're going against a team that won state champ for like the past 5 years, and if you go against them, there's a chance. You never know. So you try your hardest and best and keep continuing forward, because that's the main problem. Some people, they just, once you lose once or twice, they just stop there, and it's just no point. Because as a student athlete, you have to keep trying, because if not, there isn't really integrity into it as much as it should be.
I was always told by my family that no matter how many times you fall, you can always get back up. So I'd use that as encouragement.
Coach, is there any quote that you tell your players, or that you tell yourself to help with them and motivate them for yourself?
The quote that he told us not to athletes. The quote that he told us to athletes.
Something I tell you to approach you.
Yeah.
I don't really think of anything specific except, maybe try to say something funny or something, or, I might go up and say, right before their bowling, I said, I just want you to know we're all counting on you, or the whole world's counting on you, and depends on what you do right now. But say it like in a funny way, to kind of just take off just say it in a way, just smiling and laughing to kind of take off some of the pressure. And, and sometimes say, the world's not going to fall apart. It's just have fun. And, or, if we're way ahead, you got to kind of encourage your players, don't let up, because it's like CJ and was saying, anything can happen. There's been matches we've been way ahead, and then suddenly you have a couple of bad, like once you get to the Baker games, you have a couple of bad rounds, and the other team say you bowl like a 70 in a Baker game, and they bowl 170. Suddenly they gained 100 pins on you, and you're in trouble. I mean, then you're fighting to keep that lead. So, I think lightening the mood. I mean, that's always kind of been my way of coaching, and is trying to lighten the mood when my athletes get the pressure on them. So trying to take some of that pressure off. It's always found that kind of tends to work, as opposed to breaking clipboards and stuff like that, like I used to when I coached softball.
Your coach mentioned that you've been with him since 7th grade. You talk about your experience at bowler, how you overcome your weaknesses, and how you've grown as a bowler, as a person.
So I started bowling when I was like 4. So I've been bowling since I was little. So it's like when they put me in the captain position, it's like everybody's counting on me. So they look for me for advice. They look for me to help them. So it's like
I have to overcome what I'm working on and help them grow as they become stronger. And it's my last year, so it's like I have to leave a mark for them to follow. Like when they get up there and mess up, they just remember what I say. It's okay, just keep doing what you're doing.
All right, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Let me get this still here.
Girls can do it straight. Rest.
No, this is. Come on up.
Okay, we'll take introductions.
All right, my name is Caleb Shiley. I'm a senior, and I'm in the 195 weight class.
My name is Jamie Miller, and I'm a senior.
Coach Brown, head wrestling coach. Looking forward to this season. Both these guys have high expectations for making it to the state tournament. Last year, Jamie came up a little short, hurt his knee in his last match, kind of hurt him a little bit. And Caleb had a really good regular season, got hurt, and actually missed the sectionals. So hopefully we'll stay strong and be in Huntsville this year.
For the player, your coach mentioned with that injury, what was your mental, I guess, mindset when you got injured? How did you race to take yourself back?
It's always next year. As a junior, I mean, it's not much you can do. It was a mistake. I mean, it was an injury. It happens. So I knew I had next year. I knew what happened. Knew I had to put the work in to get back where I was to be better. So.
Same thing as Sheely said, but at least you tried your best at the moment, so it was what it was.
So how do you
Practice. It's just a lot of wrestling coaches go out and spend an hour before practice running to get in shape. We wrestle to get in shape. That to me has always been the best. If we're throw every situation, well, it's hard to do every situation because wrestling gets a little crazy sometimes with different things that can happen. But we try to put definitely the basics and anything that we can show them and get them prepared for to help them for the match.
Just staying to myself, focused, thinking about the moves I want to do during the match, who I'm going against, what he's built in, is he get a hand fight and takedowns, what just I can really focus on what matters in that moment.
I tend to listen to music or talk to my mom before a match, but other than that, that's pretty much it.
So what do you want to the first this year? What kind of you like to leave behind?
I just want to make it a state. You know, it's my second year wrestling, so I just want to go to Huntsville, just try my best, see where it takes me.
I still wanted to win a gold medal in the tournament and then go to state afterwards.
Again, you guys are seniors. Is there anything that you can tell the junior and sophomore, anyone that's trying to come into wrestling, who would tell them to help them?
Just work, build your body, build your mind. You know, it's way more mental than physical. Because, I mean, you got somebody out there trying to slam you. So it's just like, You feel me? You can't get mad. You can't let your anger take over. You can't just try to do sporadic stuff just because they try something. You got to play your game, wrestle how you wrestle, and just stay calm for real.
I would say listen to coach. He'll help you win pretty much every match because he tells you what to do, and most likely it works 9 times out of 10.
So you guys talked about your strengths and weaknesses and how you use them, and you can use your weakness as a strength. Just talk about the tactics.
I would say my weakness would be, I really don't know, but I know I would tend to go to the ground more often. So my strength would be ground game, I guess.
My strength, I guess, would be defense, making sure they don't get me to the ground first before I get them trips, stuff like that.
Oh, Coach, what is something that you seen in last year that you want to build on?
The scrappiness, just how they don't give up. It's never, no matter who they go against, it's never easy. We don't make it easy for anybody. I know especially Caleb last year, his first year, he got early on, got in a lot of bad positions, but he fought out of them was impressive. So just that, never give up.
You guys motivated me.
There's another one. Is you figure out what you did wrong, talk to them, show them if there's any mistake that they made. Sometimes somebody's just better than you that day. Sometimes you put yourself in a terrible position. I know, especially heavyweights. If a big guy gets on top of you, it's hard to get up sometimes. So sometimes you just minimize that mistake and learn from it.
After a loss, you just got to get the next one. I'm not going to say nobody's going to be perfect, but, you got to take a couple losses to learn from them. Know what you did wrong. Know, okay, that move's not going to work. You can't do that no more. Just really, I feel like losses don't really affect me until I get to state. Until I get to Huntsville and I'm playing in a tournament, then that's when losses really just start to matter.
I tend to learn from them more so, like my tendencies or what did I do to get in a position to lose that match so I don't do it again. So that's pretty much it.
So my question would be, how do you view yourself as a person? How do you view yourself?
As a wrestler, I don't view myself as strong-minded. Just because a guy might be bigger than me or better experience or they know what to do better, okay. But just if you go out there thinking you're not going to lose, all right, I got this. If I stick to the basics, listen to what coach is telling me, my coaching point, whenever he's coaching, and I'm on the mat, as long as I listen to him and just stay focused, I'll be straight.
For me, I would say I'm more so, encouraging and confident for my 10, the way I play, how I
Yeah. I'm hardworking, strong-willed, aggressive when it comes to this sport. Really just want to teach them, build confidence, and teach them the basics and put them in the best situation possible to win. Okay.
All right, thank you, man. Brian.
Was it considered? She said no. Yes.
Have you seen the board? How do you feel like this season later, this, the educates, right? Well, let's put that, Fred, talking to you. Here. Well, hey, at least you got a thing in the World Series.
I have lots of opinions, but I probably just need to not get riled up.
It's not, I mean, there's always, no more room for error. That is constructed. Good morning, how are you all doing?
Good morning.
I'm here.
Look, guys, can you tell me if you're home? Don't answer my question.
You got it.
How you know this?
Yes.
You can mic. You can.
Okay.
I have a question.
Hmm?
Is there a Bluetooth? Wait.
How's it going? How's it going, Mr. Shore?
Man, why not?
Yes, sir. We'll do introductions and then go to the statement and we'll take questions from the start. Okay. Are we ready?
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Ariel Norfleet, and I go to school at Central High School, and I'm a junior for this 2024-2025 season.
My name is Naisha Stanton. I attend Central High School, and I'm a senior.
My name is Michael Rivers. I'm the head coach at Central High School, the Lady Falcons. I'm going into my 14th season. We're thankful to be here today, and on behalf of Tuscaloosa City School, just like to say that you all providing this for us. It's a great opportunity for these young athletes to have exposure to the upcoming season as we prepare for the season. Me going to my 14th season, I'm actually looking forward to this season probably more than the last couple I've had in a while. I have a very young team. I'm so elated to see what we can do this year.
Is there anything that you've learned from this team that can help make you a better coach?
I think the number one thing that I've learned is patience and perseverance. After 12 years of successfully going to the playoff and advancing to the championships and different things, and then having a 2-year absence, this young team has taught me how to be patient, knowing that everything just doesn't happen overnight, and that sometimes you have to really work your way through it to get back where you want to be. Not so much a better mentality, but just a better understanding that you're not going to always make it to the playoff. Because, if you make it there 12 years in a row, you just sometimes can think that it's automatic. It's not automatic. And the 2-year absence has taught us that there's some things that have to be done in order to stay where you were.
Now, do you have any personal goals or what you might overcome for this?
Not really. I hope that we make it to state together. Like, that's all.
So for my players, how do y'all prepare to get in the right headspace to
You got this. Okay, how I get my headset together? I just really give my own self a prep talk, like not just to myself, but to my teammates. Like, hey, this is what we gotta do. Like, we gotta do what we gotta do, and we gotta go out there and handle business. And also, like, conversation with coach, like he definitely like, hey, we can do this. Everybody can do this. And as being the captain, my number one job is to just make sure everybody stay encouraged and stay on what we're supposed to do. And everybody, including myself, because the hardest person to control is yourself. So make sure that I'm upright first and also show that to my team.
Well, for me, I have, just like Ariel said, I encourage my teammates, myself, and then when Coach Rivers encourages also, that's really.
Follow up, you as captain, what goal do you have for yourself as captain? What goal do you have for yourself for your team? And how do you motivate yourself? How do you motivate your team? How do you separate and player and captain?
Okay, first I'm gonna start with your question is my goal for being captain is for myself. For myself is definitely to make sure before I criticize anybody else that I have everything together for myself. And it's also giving my 100% in practice on the court, practicing when nobody else want to practice, and also giving that same leadership off to my teammates. Never bringing none of my teammates down, always uplifting them. Hey, if they do something wrong, hey, we got this. Like, yeah, we all make mistakes. I ain't finna criticize nobody because I'm the main one be messing up in practice. Like, that always be me. So just never bringing nobody down. That's pretty much it. And also, as my other captain, not Asia, I make sure like we always on the same accord. We on the same point. We always speaking the same things, so the team won't get confused.
So, Coach, this is a program that has seen a lot of success over the years. So, what steps do you plan to take this year to have a very successful?
Well, I would say we haven't been the last 2 years. We've still had 20-win seasons. We just haven't made it to the playoff. Even within all the success, it's just sort of like complacency can set in sometimes. But there were some young kids that were bored of playing time with my seniors. Now we have a group where we have 1 senior, 2 juniors. So we're sort of stacked up pretty good again. And moving forward, our goal is to maintain what we've done over the last 14 years, to be consistent. Because even without the consistent and staying disciplined.
How do you try to get your players to work towards that discipline and that consistency?
Well, a lot of it is because they've been in the program. The majority of my players, very seldom do I have a player that hasn't been there 4 years. She's been there 5. She's been there 5. Okay, so they know. Really, a lot of that is not me; it's them. Because when they're in the locker room, the other young ladies know what they expect, what we do, how we do it. That's a minimal part of what I do because they tend to correct each other through their leadership. So that helps me out a lot. Having girls that have played for 4 or 5 years, knowing exactly how the program runs and what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do it.
And when you see your team struggling, how do you players get to that track?
Not being conceited, the struggles are very limited. I mean, minimal of what we've seen over the years. Our struggles haven't necessarily been a struggle from a basketball standpoint. It's been a struggle from a number standpoint of having the bodies to fill in each age group, each grade group, and so even within those limited struggles that we've had, they still shone through in the end because they always stick together. And like they were saying, you will never hear my girls criticize each other. Never. Because I always tell them, you want to be the one to criticize, you better make sure you're not making any mistake.
The main goal is for everybody to play together, to make it to states. That's all we really need from.
My main goal is to beat the odds. Like every time ranking come out, we always the last ones. We always show ourselves to steady to approval. So I feel like that's our biggest goal. Winning is always the goal, but win it in the right manner and make sure that we stay respectful and also respectful to our staff when or while we winning.
You was talking about discipline and how that's on the team. Can you define integrity and how you implement that?
Well, we hold each other accountable. They hold each other accountable. As a matter of fact, our school holds us accountable. Our boy coach and I, we work real well together. We hold each other accountable because we base ourselves on having not a basketball team, but a basketball program. So from the boys to the girls, we sort of like mirror each other and the type players we want, the type kids we want representing Central. And, through our principal and management, sometimes we get it right. We get it right the majority of the time. But again, we have kids that are willing to help each other and help us along the way. And that, like I said, it just feeds off one from another, year in and year out.
Building off of that question, you said that you have your players that are willing. You said you have very young players on your team this year. How do you keep those new players willing to help work as a team?
Well, I'll tell you what, when they walk around and they read different things, they see pictures on the wall, knowing how successful we've been, it automatically impedes in them. They want to be successful. They want to be successful. 90% of them that come from West Lawn already are part of the program. Coach Carlisle does a good job of letting them come to the games and being around us and watching us when we play different things, different games at different times, so that they already feel a part of it before they even get there.
What are y'all mindset and how do y'all focus before a game? What do y'all do to maintain that spirit?
You want to do? Oh, you want to go first? Okay, I'll go first. So playing teams like Bryant, one of our biggest rivals, I'd be like, God, lead it, jam pack, like, ooh, them up pack. But like, I'd be kind of nervous before the games, but when I get into that locker room, all that just goes away because I know, like, okay, we got like 5 minutes till game time. Now we really got to lock in. And then when I step out on the court, I don't feel no fear because it's like, now I'm going to dominate y'all, like, in all the stats. And even like during the quarters, we be tired, you know, stuff like that. But when we get on that sideline, our Coach Rivers, he really like, hey, girls, y'all keep pushing. We still got this. Even if we losing, like, it can be like 5 or 15. Hey, we still in the game. Like, y'all just lock in, keep doing what y'all doing.
For me, when I get there, I walk in, I'm just like, okay, when we go on the floor, we have to show them what we really can do because everybody already has doubt that we're going to lose. So I just feel like whatever we show on the court, that's all that the people need.
My question would be, players, what footprint do you want to be central? Like, what footprint do you want to be offering to other players and the coach? What do you want to be on the play? What do you want that step?
Well, the footprint I want them to leave behind is the footprint that we already have, that we've established over the last 14 years of a winning culture, of a program that sends 2 to 3 girls to college every year. You know, normally through basketball, we normally send 2 to 3 every year to be good citizens, be a good product and represent Central West. Because I always tell them, you know, we can play ball, but you can walk out that door and do one thing, and it'll overshadow everything that has been done on that given game night. Those are the things we try our best to avoid as far as a reputation and concern as representing our school and our system, because it goes hand in hand, you know, especially when you're playing at the highest level and cameras are flashing. We don't need any negativity. If we can leave there with that footprint and leave it intact, we're on a good setting.
I want to leave, like, I want people to know that it's like a mindset thing, that they have to want to win. They have to want to be able to show what the Lady Falcons bring and what Coach can bring to us.
The footprint I want to leave when I graduate, I definitely want to get shipped. Like, definitely, like, go to the playoff, just go to Birmingham. And also for our younger players that's on the team, like, hey, y'all can still play basketball and definitely keep y'all grades up and make it to college. And, you know, just uphold the standards that our basketball program has for us at Central.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
this on my sheet. Let's see.
Introduction to the coach, give us the introduction statement.
Good day. I'm Willie Moore, head men's basketball coach at East Central High School, starting our 6th season. Today I have senior forward Yasir El-Marabi with me this morning. We're ready when you are.
Starting with our senior out there, what does leadership mean to you?
Leadership really holding my teammates accountable, like being an extension of a coach. Really, like if I see one of my teammates giving coach attitude, I'm probably not gonna say nothing in. But after practice, I'm gonna let him know that that's not cool. I'm a senior. You could, mess us up with that. So really, just holding my teammates accountable. Really.
Coach, what goals do you have for your team this year?
Okay, go ahead.
What goals do you have this season, and how do you plan to achieve them?
Well, the ultimate goal is to make the playoffs, and the way we're going to achieve that is get 1% better every day. A lot of people think you can get like better over, like 100% better every day, but 1%, if you add 1% every day, you're going to continue to improve. Got a young team this year. Had 10 seniors last year, so got a lot of growing to do. And so just continue to work every day, build on what we have started in the preseason, and continue to grow each and every day to bring some success.
What's your personal goal? How do you plan to achieve your personal
goal? Really, my personal goal is to make a deep run in the playoffs this year. And like Coach said, get 1% better each day. If you get a little better at something over a course of like a month, you're gonna improve a lot. So that's really how I plan on going there.
As a senior, how do you plan to step up and take a part of that role? How do you plan? What kind of footprint do you want to leave behind for younger kids?
I really just want people to people are down this year. A lot of people quit on us this year. We're going to be an underdog in a lot of games this season, so I really want people to look at me and this team as like, we persevered through a lot. We proved a lot of people wrong, so that's really the footprint I want to leave.
Coach, you struggled a lot with the city opponents, Brian and Rutgers last season. You were 0-4. How do you plan to compete and do better against this?
Say it one more time.
You were 0-4 with the city competitors in Northridge and Brian last year. How do you plan to work with that better against them?
Correction, we beat Northridge at home. But we are in a tough area. This is probably one of the toughest areas in the state. And so we're not shy about that. We're not feeling any kind of way about it. We're going to be ready, prepared to go. If you look at last season, we actually were in the area tournament, the number 4 seed, leading the number 1 seed, Paul Bryan, who's ranked in the top 10 throughout the whole year, leading them for 29 of the 32 minutes. Had a couple mistakes toward the end that cost us the game. And so those things play a really part in my brain. And so we're going to prepare better so that we can finish the game, because if we win that game, only God knows what could happen. So we're going to make some adjustments from what we did last year. Got a brand new group that's eager, that's fired up, ready to go to work. And so, hey, whatever opponent comes our way, we're going to be ready for it.
Yes, sir. As you walk into a competitive game or like a rival match, how do you stay focused? What is your set mindset?
My mindset really is to just stay calm, stay focused, because in environments like that, it's really easy to get rattled and get, knocked off your game. So really just focus on what I have to do, like whatever plays I have to execute, and just lock in on that. Don't listen to the crowd.
When you see your players down in the field, if they're not in it, how do you go and
So we have to remember the hard work that that we put in when nobody's watching, nobody sees. And so I have to remember them when you get a down moment. Remember your training. Remember what you've been through all preseason. Preseason is never easy for us. And so just remember, as a special day in our heart called October the 1st. And we have to remember October the 1st. You saw his head drop right there. He get a little excited about October 1st. And so that was a day that we went through a whole lot as a group. And so remembering that day for our end goal of March, have that day in the back of your mind that, hey, we're going to push through. We can push through. We can fight through. We can get through anything that comes our way. And so just having that determination, that maximum effort every day, giving 100% effort 100% of the time.
From coach, well, that's a good question. Just staying determined, really, because I remember when I first got to Central, I was big. I couldn't make a run on time, really. He taught me to just keep going, don't stop. And you know, I've improved a lot since then. So he's really taught me how to stay determined to one goal.
I learned that, you know, people really looked at him as, why is he on the team? And me and him have this conversation, and I saw something in him that he didn't see and nobody else saw. And a lot of people don't see us as this year going to be any good because we lost seniors. We had an all-state player last year in Javion Taylor. We had guys that had started for varsity for 3 years. And so everybody's thinking that, hey, we're not going to be any good. We had some people jump in the transfer portal. A whole lot of things happen. But we're expecting to do great things because we're determined. We're going to work, we're going to outwork our opponent, and we're going to give our very best every day.
So you was mentioning about the transfer portal and the new group. Like, what keeps you motivated and keep you motivated to teach your team?
You know, it's beyond basketball for me. You know, my goal is to impart something into young men to make them better people, better basketball players, and enjoy their time at Central and beyond basketball, because the ball's going to stop bouncing for some sooner than later. And, you know, it's a life lesson. So we learn life lessons through the game of basketball. I'm just the person that's able to help teach them and mold them to the men that they want to be, the men that be productive citizens in not just this city, but throughout the state, throughout the country.
Take a couple more, Coach.
Okay, so Coach, something you seen unique last year or last season in your play that you like to build and grow on this season?
I saw when we went to Orlando and played in a tournament, there was teams from all across the country. And that group of individuals knew that it was going to be a tough task. We finished second in the tournament. Nobody really remembers that, but I remember us going down there and playing a team that finished in the Final Four in the state of Pennsylvania. And we played them the year before in the same tournament, and that coach said, hey, your guys got better. And that made me think, that's what we're supposed to do. And so I want them to see that we did have some injuries last year, but we still got it done with our best player hurt for 8 games. We still won some games. We won half of those games while he was out. And it does not matter who is playing, who's able to play, who's not playing. It's an opportunity for everybody to step up. And so that's what we want to build on. The possibilities is endless because we have a bunch of guys who have very limited varsity minutes. So they're eager, they're ready, they're fired up, and we're going to just get after people every day. And, you know, let everybody know, let the naysayers know, and that we're going to take care of business.
I do want to ask you earlier, you said that you saw something in last year that no one else saw.
Mm-hmm.
And as a coach, as a teacher, or a mentor, how do you, how do you approach that kind of play? No one believes in it. It's your job to help them get that. For you, how was that for you, where no one really saw you? And it was your time to step up?
Well, I remind him often we were on the track running, and a lot of people quit. A lot of people stopped in that moment. He kept going. He didn't stop. He was going slow, but he never stopped. So I saw that determination, that fight, that grit that he had. And those are the type of players that we want around us. Those are the type of players that we want to modify our program. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. He was the slowest one. He's the last one. Even people stopped. He still was the last one, but he kept going. he kept fighting, never gave up, never quit. And he's dedicated himself to really working hard and doing what we ask him to do is from a physical standpoint to get himself ready to play.
Really, I had a feeling I was going to improve, but you always want to, stay ready for that. I always had a goal in mind because at the time I was a little bigger. I always wanted to lose weight and get faster. And so if you lock in on a goal and work towards it, you're always going to make it there. So I always had a feeling I was going to make it to where I am.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Yeah. Hold it. Hold it. All right, we'll do track.
You gotta put these in. Can I hold it? Just in the middle. You can put it. It's supposed to be a thing. Yeah. Put it in the middle of it. It picks up. Put it in the middle.
Okay, we'll do the introductions and then coach will give us the introductions.
I'm Marika Tron. I'm a shot putter.
I'm Peyton Ike, a hurdler.
I'm Peyton Thomas, a hurdler.
I'm Avery Peterson, a shot put thrower.
And I'm Coach Latasha Russell. This is my second season as the head track and field coach at Central High School. Just looking forward to having a good season.
So, Coach, track is a sport that requires you physical practice and intense work. How do you balance practice so you go over?
I tell my athletes all the time that track is a mental sport. So if you don't have your mental right, then track is not the sport for you. All of these students are either IB or advanced class students. So I try to make sure that they know that schoolwork comes first. But I try to get their mental right more so. So we try to do a lot of tough training. That way they know when it's time to compete that they're ready to go in whatever.
And for the whole when you reach that final point, like your expectations, and if you fall a little bit short, how does your mental mindset change? How do you tell yourself to keep going? You can work on behavior.
Yeah.
So really for me, this was a big problem for me last year because I had ups and downs in my last season. So I'll start out my first meet. That's the highest, the most I threw. So the whole rest of last year, I had to work with my mental and my coach. We had to make a plan to come up with a way for me to stay focused and stay locked in on that goal and keep on working towards that goal.
For me, I fell short a lot last year, and I would say the biggest thing that kept me going was definitely my coaches. They said, well, they realized a lot of potential in me, and they enforced it in myself that I can also be greater at what I do. So it was really the support system that helped me keep going.
For me, there are some days where I just can't make it over that hurdle, and there's a mental block, and it just seems like I'm just going to fall if I go over it. But I have to tell myself, keep going, and even for my teammates, I have to stay encouraging and make sure, and I'm cheering them on every practice. And also myself while I do it. So that's a big thing for me.
The mental challenge is something I really struggled with over my last season. I kind of really did let myself down. So really, my coaches really keep me motivated because when I don't see something in myself, my coaches do. So that's the reason I keep going, I keep pushing. And this season, I'm trying to do better mental mentally so I can prepare to be a beast this upcoming season.
Coach, how do you use your losses to your advantage to help your team grow more on and off?
So in track, I mean, you think about losses if you don't come in first or top 3. We just take those and we build on those every week. So like we run on Saturdays. So a lot of times that Monday we'll have a team meeting. And then, we'll talk about the negatives and the positives of the track meet. And then we'll kind of just build on that for practice from that Monday to that really Thursday, because Friday is kind of a recovery day. So kind of just seeing what we did wrong, what we did right, looking at film. So a lot of times we try to record our events and things of that nature, just looking at what we can change and what needs to be better. Like this year, I have a lot of seniors, so we took a couple losses and some of the people we lost last year, but we have a lot of returning seniors. So just building on what they did last year, kind of getting ready for this season. I think it's going to be good.
Coach mentioned that you all are taking like IB honors classes and stuff. How do y'all find that balance between school and church?
No, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard because me, I play football as well, and being an IB student playing football, you gotta release some of that time that you want to play video games or go hang out with your friends to actually go study, because IB is not a gimme grade, so you gotta go actually study and put time into your education and not just put it on track or football or any sport.
Maintaining the balance for me is a little bit more difficult because I also work, but I make sure the days that I can just not do anything. Like today is the day I'm not doing anything. I'm not at school. I'm not working. I'm gonna go to practice, but yeah, I just try to make sure I can have days where I do nothing or like 2 out of the 3 things.
It's really hard as an IB student and just a super involved student while running track. It is super hard. But a lot of times what I do is I'll come out to the track early and start practicing. So some of us will do that if we know we have to leave practice early or we have something to do that day. But a lot of times, if you just put in that work, yeah, that'll be okay.
So as an advanced student, we just move at a really fast pace for real. So it's just like, it's all about how you balance it in here. It is kind of hard because I also work as well. So it's just like, you have to set your priorities straight instead of just going out or hanging out with somebody. Even though you have something to do at like tomorrow or late at night at 11:59, because that's always gonna hunt me. So I just have to make sure I have to like get that set and straight before I can just do anything that I want to do. Put my needs first.
And I have a follow-up question. I'm sorry. Y'all were talking about how to move at the fast pace. How do y'all do it?
We do team bonding, and a lot of times that gives everyone's spirit back up and bonds us together. And once our mental is together and is stronger, we can get back stronger on the track.
The team really is like a family, so like we really just uplift and hold each other accountable.
And they know, I mean, I did college track and field as well, and they know I always stress that we're student athletes, so student comes first. So they know they have to miss practice to go to study hall or they have a big test coming up, and they know they can just come to their coaches and say, "Hey, coach, I need to study for this test, or I need to go and make up this assignment," and we'll set practice time short or set time aside during practice for them to study or to get their work done.
Is there like one big thing that you learned when you were as a player that you teach on to them, so you bring back from your past?
Yes, so actually I ran track at Central as well. Still got a couple of records in my name. But I try to just tell them, like, me and other coaches on my coaching staff, Coach Wilder, we all ran together at Central. But just showing them that the work ethic, we came from the same background, same side of town, that it's possible. So I try to show them that we made it. We went to college on track and field scholarship, so it's possible. Just trying to show them the way that I got there. It kind of just giving them those steps, because things that I didn't know back in high school that I learned when I was in college. Just showing those steps and that work ethic and things of that nature that they need to get to that next level.
Your coaches, any coaching style, talking anything about like maybe in the field or even in school?
Yeah. So my throwing coach, Coach India, the main thing she stressed this season was relinquishing control and letting like trusting the coaching. And she said that that's gonna go like to life too. Like you gotta relinquish some control to, you know, if you want to get where you want to go, you can't control everything. You gotta trust the process. And yeah.
For me, it's especially this season, mostly it's like stepping up, becoming more of a leader because a lot of people do look at me as that, as where I don't really see it in myself that much. But it is people who look up to me, so I gotta be more of a, you know, somebody who sets an example for people under me.
Knowing that my coaches know what's best for me and they may see what I don't see, so I have to put my trust in them. You know, even though I want to listen to myself, I have to listen to them.
Yes, my coach, she's really big on listening and just staying calm. Like, she's gonna guide you through the way. All you have to do is just be willing to want the help and want to win and put your best foot forward.
Coach, track is a sport will continue to grow through the year. How do you plan to be consistent?
Like I said, just taking it week by week, day by day, just kind of seeing what works, what doesn't work. Staying in the weight room, like I said, keeping their mental strong. Even when they go to a track and they don't do their best, just kind of growing from that, like learning from that loss, and kind of just sticking together as a team. Like they said, we're a family. We do team bonding every month. You know, just trying to stick together, just to show them that, you know, whenever you're down, you got people around you that's gonna pick you up. So kind of just building every week, every day. Like Coach Moore said, just getting 1% better every day. That's what we do. My coaches hold me accountable, and I hold them accountable. And even these guys, you know, I was sick last week and missed a couple of days of practice, but they're like, Coach, where were you at? You know, they hold us accountable as well. Kind of just staying balanced. Like I always say, like, I have a daughter, so my coaches know they pick me up when I'm down. Like if I have something to do with my daughter, I know my coaches will be there to take over, and we don't skip a beat.
Is there anything you learned from your players?
Yes, patience. You have to be with this new generation of kids, and I'm not saying they're like I'm old, but they're different. These guys are different. Their work ethic is different. But just patience, kind of just making sure I stay level-headed, you know, knowing that they're not me or my coaches, you know, knowing that they're their own individual selves, and just, you know, learning from them. Even when I'm out there trying to run with them, sometimes they teach me some things as well. But yeah, just patience, really. That's the main thing.
You can answer first if you want. What do you think the biggest challenge is for
Really staying consistent, because you know you have sometimes like when you do good in meets, sometimes you get a big head and you're like yeah. But if you don't continue to put that work in and be consistent, then it's not going to go anywhere. Because with track, it's up and down. So you don't have a record. You don't like football or basketball. You don't have a record. You don't have anything you can go off of. It's you personally. You don't have anybody else influencing your results. So you got to do the work. You got to put the work in and make yourself better.
For me, I'm a hurdler, so I fall like a lot. Like I just fell at practice like 2 days ago, scraped my whole body up. But it's like running track, you're gonna get hurt. Well, especially for me, I'm gonna fall, you know. It's a sport where you fall and you just gotta learn how to get back up and keep going. You can feel dispirited a lot, like even in workouts, you're going slow, you feel like you can't get through. You just gotta learn how to, just push through, get back up and keep going.
The mental side, there are lots of times, again, track is a really big mental sport. So there are a lot of times where you may feel down, but you have to remember that everyone's timing is different. Sometimes it may be her time, sometimes it might be my time, but you just have to be consistent and trust yourself that your time is going to come.
Yeah, the hardest challenge for me personally is more on the mental side, because I know I can do it and I know I have the ability and strategies to get it together. It's just very mental. Like sometimes I seem to put myself down. I know I can do it, and I just kind of push myself to my limits. But I just gotta take it one by day, like Coach said, 1% at a time, and just grow and get better, and know that I have ability to make it there. So my goal is really trying to be number one in the state this year. So 1% every day and I'll get there.
Thank you guys, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Smile.
Smile.
You got your hands on the table.
Hands on the table, quick.
Okay, we'll take this round. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. No, it's what you. What did you talk about?
You'll be beside me, Ben will be on the left, or on the right here, and then Jay. Jalen will be right there, Ben will be over there. What's up? You speak up, you'll be fine. Scoot in just a little bit. How's that? Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll do introductions and coach give us introductions.
Okay, my name is Drew Emerson. I'm the head wrestling coach for Central High School. I am a second-year coach for a second-year program. So last year was our initial foundation year. Most wrestling programs after the first year, their ultimate goal is to end the season with maybe 5 to 7 wrestlers. We ended with 10. We have 7 returning starters. Today here with me, I have brought Jalen Jackson to the far left. To my immediate left is one of our captains. This is Josh Evans. To my immediate right is one of our captains, Parker Evans. And one of our newest members to my far right is Ben Jones.
So you mentioned that this is going into the second year of your program, so it's very young. How do you plan to continue to grow the program?
It's a absolutely good question. Wrestling is a individual and a team sport at the same time, right? We kind of have a mentality of, iron sharpens iron, right? You have to come in, you have to be able to devote a significant amount of time to it. I always tell the kids that, for our program, there are 3 things that I want you to focus on, and that's the 3 things that you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your efforts, right? So building a program for me has been a unique challenge. I'm not a full-time educator and coach. I have a day job. I'm an attorney. I own my own law firm. So I am trying to recruit when I'm not even at the school. So that's been a very unique and singular challenge. On the other hand, I have accomplished more goals than what most wrestling coaches have. After the first year, I did have 10 at the end of the season, when most coaches look for about 5 to 7. I have half a team in returning starters. There are schools in this area who do not even have 7 returning starters to their program. So we've been very fortunate so far to building it. What we hope to do is to show something on the mat, so that we can help build the program through some of the notoriety and the publicity that comes with success. We've had some initial success though. As a first-year coach, coaching a first-year team with no one with any experience whatsoever, Josh, to my immediate left, by the end of the season, he was taking bronze at a tournament. So after only 2.5 months of having a program, we were actually having guys place in tournaments. So far, so good. We hope to build it even further, though.
Following up, with being relatively new program, how have you seen it already change, and how do you hope to see it change for in the future?
I'm seeing it talked around the school more. One of the other coaches who was asked a question mentioned something about this generation. You know, it's different than when we grew up, right? A lot of times we hear the negatives about that. I got to tell you some positives. When I grew up wrestling, state champion and captain of a state championship team. Nobody in my high school really knew about it or talked about it. It wasn't, you know, I got some congratulations from the football team, right? The wrestling team knew about it. What is different about this generation is that they share each other's goals. They share each other's visions. They prop each other up. The number of just random kids who will see me walking through the hallway and say, "Hey, coach, I heard you did good this week." That's something that's a little bit unique that I didn't experience in my youth. And it's been a really great experience for that reason, because this high school at Central, the family feel to it amongst the kids has just been, it's been very welcome, and it's been a great experience so far.
So for all the players, what do you want to do differently this year that you didn't do last year?
Well, for me, this year, I would like to just set a new standard for myself coming out the gate. I would like to show all of my competition that I'm here to stay.
For me, all those people that beat me throughout for my first season, I want to come back this season and like beat them. Like,
for me, my goal is to start the season off fast. Last season, I started off a little slow. I was a little anxious. I was kind of scared. It was my first year wrestling. This year, I already know what it's like. So I'm going to go ahead, assert myself on the mat. And later on, like last year, I beat guys that I had lost to early on in the year. So this year, I'm going to win against guys this early on, and then I'm going to beat them later on.
Yeah, I'm a first-year guy, so I wasn't on the team last year, but it's just about getting 1% better every day and competing with my opponents, my teammates, and myself.
Hey, captains, how does it feel to take on such an important role?
Okay. It feels like being a leader early on, and it just shows how to pave the way and how to be an example to my teammates and just do it the right way, because if you're doing it the right way, then it's just an example for everybody else to come.
Yeah, role I want to take on, I want to be somebody that the younger guys can look up to. I want to be somebody, you know, that's a staple. I want to set a standard for this wrestling team because we haven't really won anything yet. So I want to be Josh. He won first, but I want to be bigger. I want to go out here and assert ourselves like Central is here, you know, become better than Northridge and Bryant and the guys in our region.
First 2 years, do you have like big challenges, big goals you really noticed so far the first time?
You know, not any huge things, just getting better and you know, learning the sport.
Maybe players in our job. How do you tend to encourage them, build them up, and build players who are wrestlers?
Sure. I said this last year, and it still remains to be true. Wrestling has an overlap with life that other sports don't. I played a lot of different sports when I was younger, but wrestling is the one that I think translates to real life later on as you enter adulthood in a much more direct way. You know, a preseason practice in wrestling is a lot more physically and mentally tolling than some real practices during the seasons, right? Wrestling is just a tough sport that way. But I'm telling my kids that, I mean, later in life, you're going to have your own individual job, but you're very likely going to be working that individual job with other people who depend on you, right? Wrestling is that to a T. There are days where you're going to have tough days. There are days where you have to push through it. There are days that you have to be able to depend on others to help you get through that day. And there are going to be times where you need to be able to recognize that someone else is having a tough day. And you have to be able to be ready to raise them up, right? It can't always be someone complaining, and I don't necessarily mean complaining, but I mean, some people just aren't communicated that way. Right? But if you're not willing to take a look around and see that you're having a teammate who's struggling and build them up, you're not ready for adulthood, because that's part of it. Part of it is being able to take that look around and see that some people are struggling, or having the maturity to say, hey, I'm struggling today. Can you help prop me up a little bit? And nothing translates to real life to me more than wrestling that way.
We'll take a couple more.
This question is for everyone. From the outside, it's often hard to understand the art of wrestling. So what about the sport is that truly getting pitched out?
Okay, for as a player, the sport is just so different than any other sport. You're on the team, but you're wrestling individual for yourself, and you have your teammates supporting you from the outside. And it's very such a strong team and brotherhood mentality.
Can you repeat the question again?
It's often hard to understand the art of wrestling. So what about the sport like it treats you and what keeps you explain some of the things make it interesting?
Well, you just gotta keep pushing. I have my teammates to always like build me up, get me better. So as long as you keep coming out there and keep pushing, you get good at it.
Something that intrigued me about wrestling is being able to like dominate somebody else. In football, it's 11 guys on the field, 22 in total, and you're usually not gonna be one-on-one. So wrestling, it is truly one-on-one. There's nobody out there to help you. You're your only help. The thing that intrigued me is like I get to go out there, I get to serve myself. I get to pick a guy up, I get to drop him, I get to tilt him, put him on his back, and I let him know like I am better than you.
Yeah, with wrestling, it's definitely a more physical sport than a lot of sports. And, you get to just go out there and it's all eyes on you and the other guy. So that's definitely an interesting aspect.
For the coach, what are some challenges that you've seen in your players last year that you would like to do this year to make them stronger?
Sure. I think when we talk about challenges, one of the aspects that you have to consider is accountability, right? Last year as a first-year coach, I made it clear to them that accountability would go both ways. If I made a mistake as a coach, I need to be able to identify it. I need to be able to communicate it to the team, and I need to be able to correct it. If I expect that from them, I should hold myself to the same standard, right? So personally for me, I think probably the biggest thing that I identified as a personal challenge was the amount of influence I could have over a match during the match, right? I'm a practice guy. I talk a lot of times about how I don't like to get into the formula of practice, right? You come in, you stretch, you do some conditioning, you practice, and then you may do some conditioning again at the end. That's pretty prototypical for any type of sport. But I didn't want to just fall into that rhythm. So in practice, I kind of respond to the needs of the team. Now, when I first started doing that at the beginning of the season, I thought that the matches would take care of themselves, right? But that wasn't the case. The number of times by the end of the season, the fact that I was doing immediate coaching, at that second while one of my guys is on the mat, at the beginning of the season, I did not recognize the influence I would have in that. So for me, one of the things out the gate is not just them knowing that I'm in their corner as a coach, right? I'm in their corner to give them the instruction they need minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day to achieve their goals. So that's a challenge for me that I will have to rise up to this year.
Hey, you were talking earlier about like tilting and dominating. It's only you and the other person in the match. Are there any certain anxieties or feelings that you get when you sit with another person?
Yeah, in wrestling, I am very anxious. I can't even lie. When we went to regionals for the first time, like I think that's the fastest my heart ever beat, and I wasn't even running. And like it's just seeing everybody there, especially like your family being there, you get real anxious. And some of it is like you're trained in life just not to lose, and you don't want to lose. But ultimately, I just tell myself, like, just go out there, have fun, just give it everything you got.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
That'll wrap it up for this winter sports media day. Thank you, guys, for your participation.
We should update this.
Yeah.
It's really day games. Make it easier. Play one of those little, like we got in the other ones. Yeah, a lot easier. Yeah.
I like it. Just needs to be updated.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Where did track come from? It's a good question. I'm gonna let the local school AD handle it.
All right, we'll see you, Coach.
All right, appreciate it.
you.